And you only, you take it with a grain of salt. We don't know what's going on. We just take what
exactly. And I thought Suzanne Summers did a great job. I'm happy for her, and she's done well with it. But I just assume be me. So I mean, we all get what we get, and Hollywood is very political. It's about money. It's about who you know. There's so many elements that go into why somebody's working and somebody's not working. So to try to take it personally is very destructive. I did not take it that personally. I was disappointed, and I can certainly write a book about rejection in this town. But I've been an expert at rejection, but you if you take it too personally or you let it get to you, then you got to get out of the game.
I was going to say you won't last in that business at all.
No, because everybody gets let down and replaced, and so you just have to keep going.
And you have to really have a thick skin, too. I mean, you have to grow one pretty quickly, from what I understand. So, but, you, in working with the sitcoms and working with, people like John Travolta and John Ritter and, and those guys on Welcome Back, Kotter, and to know that, at least 3 of them are now deceased.
Right.
Gosh, I mean, it had to have been an honor for you just to now, as you look back and think you were one of the lucky few that got to work with them. And but in all of the things that you've done as an actress, do you have someone in particular that you've enjoyed working with the most, or a particular movie or show that you thought was this is just not necessarily a highlight of your career, but something that really stands out for you?
Well, I think a lot of the couple of them that really stand out is I was a series regular doing stand-up comedy myself on Tony Orlando and Dawn, and I worked, they teamed me up with George Carlin. And so I did a lot of sketches with George Carlin, and I really learned a lot about comedy from him. And that was definitely a highlight. And then also doing that play, Night of the Iguana, and working with people like Raymond Massey, who was such a classy actor. It was his last play that he did, and he was legendary. Another play that I did on tour was with Donald O'Connor. And I loved working with the amazing, legendary Donald O'Connor. He taught me a lot of the old soft shoe tap steps because I could tap dance. So after the show every night, we'd go out, we'd put on our tap shoes and go out and entertain the audience with doing dance routines. And he never stopped dancing. He was an amazing dancer, even as a much older man. And he was a real professional. And so that was, I think the theater experiences and were definitely huge for me as working night after night with these people rather than being on a set, working for a few hours with somebody and then saying good night, it was nice to meet you, I'll see you later,
Right.
I did keep up my relationship with Bobby Hedges and Oren Peli. I have not, I don't see John Travolta that often. I do see some of his family members from time to time. I run into them, and because Hollywood's actually a very small town, really. I mean, I went to a New Year's Eve party this year at just a couple of days ago at Dee Wallace's house, and she lives near me, and she had a New Year's Eve party, and it was, I hadn't seen her in a while, but I just did a new movie with her daughter. And, it just all is kind of 6 degrees of separation with everybody if you want to, really be honest about it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have a question from one of the people in our chat room, and they want to know, how do you choose a script to consider to work on?
I read it, and if I feel like it would be fun to work on, and I don't turn too much down at this point in my career, to be honest with you. I have a sense of humor about it. You know, I'm at an age where I'm lucky to get a script sent and that, you know, they ask me to do the role. And I have a new movie coming out, and I did a movie in 2009 with Oren Peli. And so I read the script, and if I like the character, you bet I'm going to do it.
Right.
At this point, I don't even look at how much money they're paying very often, because I don't put money into the equation about whether or not I decide to do a film or not.
That's a real testament to how much you love what you do.
Exactly.
You know, I'm a firm believer that if you love what you do and you're passionate about what you do, money is really not the issue, because you're going to do it. You know, I know just me, just doing things I loved, I would do it for peanuts probably. You know, if you enjoy it, you're going to get more out of it in that regard than, you know, any money amount could ever pay you to enjoy it as much. So now let's talk about your music, because as well as you're an accomplished actress, you are also quite accomplished musician, singer, and let's talk about your career in that.
You know, I love music, and what I love about music is that nobody can tell you can go to work or not. Nobody has to cast you. Nobody has to think of you for a part. Last night, my guitar player came over. I fixed us a bite to eat, and we went into the studio, and we worked on 2 new songs. And nobody's paying me to do that. I don't know if they'll be successful. But the process of doing the music gives me more fulfillment than any of the other art forms. I love to sit down at the piano and see what comes out. We were changing a couple of notes to see what's cooler, what makes it work better. And I absolutely love writing music, because I can go do it whenever I feel like doing it.
Yes, that's so true. I feel the same way about music. And music is probably one of the few mediums that you can really be, you know, you can be as creative as you want to be. You aren't limited in what you can do.
Exactly. I'm in full control of it. I don't have to listen to a director. I mean, I certainly like input from the band, my band. I have great players in my band, or my producer, whoever I'm working with. But when I'm sitting there and writing a song, and it's just an amazing, I get an amazing sense of freedom and creativity that really I can't compare it with any of the other art forms that I like. Mm-mm.
Yes, and at the end of the day, you've still got your music to fall back on if you are not acting, and that's the beauty of it. I love, you know, the fact that music is one of those things that it's universal, and that no matter where you come from or, you know, what you like or what you dislike, it tends to unify people and bring people together like nothing else does. And
it does, and it can reflect what you know, when I'm writing music, it reflects what I'm feeling at the moment. Maybe it's not exactly something I'm going through or an experience I'm actually having, say, like a breakup, or I've met someone, or, you know, whatever. I mean, because, music is about, when I write music, my general mood of what I'm experiencing for that week or that day or whatever is reflected in the music when I write it. And I was telling my guitar player last night, his name is Hank Barrio, he's fabulous, and I just said, you know, I feel a new style coming on, because I feel more at peace this year for some reason, and I don't know why, but I just feel like my music is evolving into something a little bit different coming up, and I hope that's true, because I don't like to you know, just stay in one place all the time. The music can evolve with me as I age and get older, or whatever I'm going through.
Now, I have to say that I absolutely love your new video song, Watch What You Ask For. That's such a fun video to watch and a fun song, and I thought it was even better with having Robert Englund on there.
Michael Behrman.
I mean, what I say, I'm thinking of the horror movies.
People get them confused.
I'm thinking of the horror movies. With him on there because it just fits so perfectly with the song.
Thank you. Well, he's a neighbor of mine, and we're really good friends. And he feels like he's a brother. And, we met on the set of The Hills Have Eyes.
Right,
and
right.
He raped me in The Hills Have Eyes.
Oh.
I told him I was going to do this music video and I thought I'd make it about internet dating, the perils of internet dating. And he said, well, I want to be in it. I said, oh my God, I would be so honored to have you in it. And then I also have Brooke Lewis in it, who's known in the horror genre. And it was just so much fun doing it. We had so much fun.
The waitress? She's
the waitress. She,
okay.
Her horror fans know her as Miss Bambi, I believe, and she wore the T-shirt Miss Bambi, but she's the waitress in it. So, and these are people I hang out with who just asked to be in it, and it was so much fun doing it. Pure joy.
Yeah. Now, did you come up with the idea for it?
I wrote it, and I have all these girlfriends that are out there internet dating, and I tell them, you got to be careful.
Yeah.
And there's so many crazy people, and I think a lot of people lie on it, and or they're married or whatever. And so I hadn't seen anybody do any kind of satire on it. It is purely a comedy. I had a couple of people say, "Oh, that's really gross," because I get my throat slit, and so, but it's just a comedy. There's nothing. It shouldn't be dark for anyone. It's just kind of a horror comedy.
Fun. Yeah, it was fun. I mean, there's definitely a message there. That's a reality kind of thing, like you said, with people dating on the internet. And it used to be where people would post ads in the newspapers. Well, I'm sure they probably still do that. But because I had a friend that used to answer those ads, and she'd always say, come with me. I don't want to go by myself. And we always made sure we were in a public venue, like a restaurant or something that had people around us, because you just don't know who you're going to meet on there.
Yeah, even after you get to know them.
Exactly.
If they're a stranger, I actually have a young friend who's in her 30s, mid-30s, and she just had a child with somebody she met on the internet, and oh God, I won't go into it, but it's become a nightmare. And that was part of it, part of my motivation in writing the song too. Watch what you ask for; you just might get it. And so that was the motivation. That was part of the motivation for the song.
Well, I can see it. I got that message loud and clear.
Good.
And I think that my daughter needs to look at it when she comes home. She's out visiting with friends.
You know what? That's what I said. My producer said, "God, it's too graphic and everything." I said, "You know what?
No.
That is for your daughter to see."
Exactly.
The young girls that are out there foolishly going to places. It has a message in it. And my music, my messages are all female driven. I'm very much into women's rights and women's issues. And so I tried to do that video with entertainment in mind, but also for young girls to see. Watch what can happen and be entertained while you watch it.
Right. Yeah, you can be fun and still get a message out. I totally believe that, and it would bring more younger women to watch it because they don't actually know that there is going to be a message, and then they'll get it. So that's a good thing. And that's what the next subject I was going to bring up. You've been such a pioneer for women and for so long, and have done so much for them. Tell us why this is so important to you and what you've done.
When I was 6 years old, I was out in the front yard, and my father said, "Go put on a shirt." Now, it was a hot Texas day, and I said, well, I was 6, and my brother is a year younger than me. And I go, well, Tommy doesn't have to wear a shirt. He's a boy. It's different. I've had an attitude ever since. That, I should be able to go without a shirt, too. Now, at this age, I wouldn't attempt it. And as I got older, I understood. But You know, I don't know. I think that had a huge impact on me, and I couldn't figure out what the difference was. And as I got older, as I went,